Welcome to all. In this video we will see about DNA modifying enzymes. In specific, restriction enzymes, ligase and polymerase. DNA molecules can be shortened into small pieces and lengthened by combining small fragments together, and DNA fragment is copied and converted into RNA by transcription and duplicated by replication and removal of specific chemical groups from the bases or nucleotide molecule, and these are all altogether called DNA manipulative techniques. The enzymes plays essential role in the DNA manipulative techniques called as DNA modifying enzymes. DNA manipulative enzymes categorized into four groups. First one is nucleases, the enzymes that can cut the DNA into fragments, and by that way it can shorten the size and it can degrade the nucleic acid molecules by making them into individual nucleotides. The example is restriction endonucleases, commercially used for DNA manipulative technique. And next one is ligases, combine together individual fragments of DNA and it is known as molecular paste. Third enzymes are polymerases. These polymerases helps to make copies of the DNA strand. Other modifying enzymes, the example is phosphatase and kinase, etc. Some of the enzymes have multiple activities. For example, the polymerase also have nuclease activity, and some enzymes may act both DNA and RNA molecules. The example is ribonuclease. Now we will see about nuclease. The nucleus broadly categorized into exonuclease and endonuclease. The nucleases target the phosphodiester bonds. The exonucleases remove nucleotides one at a time from the extreme end of the DNA molecules. The example is BAL31, which can remove nucleotides from both the 5' or 3' ends of the strand, and E. coli exonuclease 3 removes nucleotide only from one strand. Next group is endonucleases. Endonucleases breaks internal phosphodiester bonds within a DNA molecules. The example is S1 endonuclease, DNase1 from cow and human. And most popular group is restriction endonucleases. Specifically binds to unique nucleotide sequence inside the DNA fragment. That sequence is called recognition sequence. Once it binds there, within the recognition sequence place, it can cut the DNA into pieces. Restriction enzymes initially discovered in the bacterium. It is a mechanism to protect themselves from the bacteriophage infection. So whenever bacteria is infected by bacteriophages, the bacteriophage delivers its viral DNA inside the E. coli that integrate with E. coli genomic DNA and produce virus particles. Finally, it kills the bacteria. To prevent these mechanisms, the bacterium produce the restriction enzymes within the E. coli or any other bacterium, and that can recognize the foreign DNA such as viral DNA, and once it will enter inside, the enzymes bind to specific places and cleave them into small pieces to inactivate the virus infection mechanism. At the same time, it will not affect the bacterial own genomic DNA, which is protected by other mechanism such as methylation, which can add the methyl groups to DNA, which will prevent restriction enzyme binding. There are three types of endonucleases are there. They are categorized to type 1, type 2 and type 3. Among these, type 2 restriction endonucleases have unique recognition site that can cleave the DNA into fragments within the recognition site or binding site. So they are highly useful for DNA manipulation techniques, whereas type 1 and type 3 are not frequently in use for DNA manipulation technique. And the restriction cutting makes two kinds of fragments. One is called blunt end, another one is called sticky end. A group of restriction endonucleases make a double strand cut in the middle of the recognition sequence, which can result in the blunt end or flush end. The example is PVU2 and ALU1 are blunt end making restriction enzymes. Another group of enzymes cut the DNA into two pieces in a staggered manner. Generally leaves 2 to 4 nucleotides in strand 1. Similarly, 2 to 3 complementary nucleotides in the strand 2 respectively. This resulting the DNA fragments have a short single-stranded overhangings at each end, and that is called sticky ends or cohesive ends. The restriction endonucleases with different recognition sequences may produce the same sticky end also. The example is the enzyme BAMH1 and BGL2. So here this illustration shows the production of blunt ends by ALU1 restriction enzyme. Its recognition site is AGCT and it perfectly cleaves between G and C and makes two blunt end fragments. And for sticky end example is ECOR1. So in addition, same sticky ends are produced by more than one restriction enzymes. Here the examples are BAMH1, BGL1 and SAU3A. So here we will see examples of some important restriction enzymes, identified organisms and their recognition sequence. EcoR1 is identified from E. coli. Generally restriction enzymes are named in 3 letters. The first capital letter indicates genus name. Next 2 small letters indicate species name, followed by strain name is mentioned, R1 etc. So EcoR1 means E. coli R1 strain, and in which the EcoR1 restrictions are recognized GAA-TTC. BAMH1 isolated from Bacillus amelolacifers and its recognition sequence is GGATCC. HIN3 is isolated from Haemophilus influenza and its recognition sequence is AAGCTT. TAG1 is isolated from Thermus aquaticus and its recognition sequence is TCGA. EcoR5 is isolated from E. coli and its recognition sequence is GAT-ATC. KPN1 is isolated from Klebsiella pneumonia. Its recognition sequence GGTACC. So now we will see 2 important characteristics of restriction enzymes. Many restriction endonucleases recognize hexanucleotide target sites, and some enzymes recognize 4, 5, 8 or even longer nucleotide sequences. And some restriction enzymes are degenerative recognition sequences. Example is HIN-F1 recognize GANTC. The N means it can be replaced by ATC or G. And based on the recognition site sequence length, we can predict the probability of length of the DNA fragment it can produce inside the genomic DNA using a simple formula. The nucleotides made up of 4 nucleotides A, T, C and G. So based on the length of sequences, the formula applied is 4 to the power of n. If the restriction enzyme recognition sequence is 6 means 4 power 6. So once in 4000 nucleotide sequence, probably the restriction enzyme binding site may repeat. So it will make the fragment. So the next manipulating enzyme is DNA ligase. The DNA ligase mainly performing 2 functions. First one is it is involved in repairing single stranded breaks called discontinuities. The discontinuity is a position where phosphodiester bond between adjacent nucleotides is missing and it is differed from the nick. The nick means the nucleotide itself is absent in one strand. So here example. So the phosphodiester bond is missed in the one strand of double stranded DNA that is recognized by DNA ligase, and it will make it perfect by enabling the phosphodiester bond. In addition, second function of ligase is it can combine 2 individual fragments of double stranded DNA. It may be blunt end or sticky end DNA fragments. If it is sticky end means that 2 overhanging strands should be complementary. Topoisomerase exhibit both nuclease and ligase function. During the replication of DNA, topoisomerase separate the 2 strands of DNA and remove the friction force by cutting 1 strand or 2 strands of the DNA molecules. And once the friction force is removed, again it combine together and make the original piece so that the replication process will take place. And topoisomerase make the blunt end and adds the phosphate at 3' end. Hence the phosphate has to be removed by enzymes like alkaline phosphatases. The third modifying enzyme is polymerase. The DNA polymerase is capable to synthesize a new strand of DNA complementary to an existing DNA strand and RNA template. Most of the polymerase can function only in the template possess a short double-stranded region that act as a primer for the initiation of the polymerase. The polymerases have 2 main functions. One is it can add nucleotides at 3' end of the primer for chain elongation. Second function is the addition of nucleotide is template directed by adding exact complementary nucleotide sequences. Among the polymerases, DNA polymerase 1 is widely used for genetic manipulation. The DNA polymerase 1 have 3 biologically active domains. One is 5' to 3' DNA dependent DNA polymerase domain that will involve in the elongation of chain. The second domain consisting of 3' to 5' exonuclease activity domain that involve in the proofreading, and in addition 5' to 3' exonuclease activity domain involved in DNA repairing. That means it can remove the nucleotides from nick end and filled with new nucleotides. Now we will see the mechanism called nick translation. The nuclease DNase and DNA polymerase 1 are involved. The DNase 1 is used to create nick ends, followed by the addition of the nucleotides in 5' to 3' direction with radiolabeled nucleotides supplied in the tube is achieved by DNA polymerase 1. Generally, 4 common polymerases are used for genetic manipulation. First one is DNA polymerase 1, that is isolated from E. coli. It have all the 3 functions mentioned previously. And next enzyme is clinofragment polymerase or large clino DNA polymerase 1. It can synthesize a complementary DNA strand, but it cannot do the 5' to 3' repair. The reason is the large clino DNA polymerase lacks the 5' to 3' DNA repair domain, and it is useful in synthesis of double-stranded DNA from the single-stranded DNA, helpful in labeling probes and sequencing, etc. And most common polymerase, tag DNA polymerase, is widely used. It is isolated from Thermus acridicus. Another polymerase is reverse transcriptase, which is unique, that uses RNA as the template and synthesizes a DNA strand complementary to the RNA, and this DNA is called as complementary DNA or cDNA, and this process is called as reverse transcription. Here we will see how DNA polymerase works. So DNA polymerase can identify where nick regions occur, and it will binds to the 3' end, and one by one it will add. In this case 4 nucleotides are absent, so it will add first 4 nucleotides, then its 5' to 3' exonuclease activity, it will remove the GCAT 1 by 1 and it will add the complementary new GCAT 1 by 1. Whereas in the case of clinofragment, the 5' to 3' exonuclease activity is missing, so it will recognize the 3' end, elongate the chain, but once it finds existing nucleotide, it will not remove and replace with new nucleotide. Next, reverse transcriptase, it will supplied with a primer and it will recognize the 3' end of the primer, and step by step it will add the complementary DNA sequence instead of RNA nucleotides. Now we will see other DNA modifying enzymes. They are alkaline phosphatase that can helpful to remove the phosphate molecules from 5' end, and polynucleotide kinase that can help to add the phosphate molecules, terminal deoxynucleotide transferase. So the alkaline phosphatase generally helpful to remove the phosphate molecules from the 5' end. Polynucleotide kinase reverse the effect of alkaline phosphatase by adding phosphate molecules, and terminal deoxynucleotide transferase adds one or more deoxyribonucleotides into the 3' terminus of a DNA molecules. And polynucleotide phosphorylase, commonly known as PNPase, catalyze the synthesis of long chain polyribonucleotides in 5' to 3' direction from nucleotide diphosphatase as precursors, and reversibly it can catalyze the phosphorylated cleavage of polyribonucleotides in 3' to 5' direction with the release of the orthophosphate in the presence of organic phosphate. Deoxyribonuclease or DNase that can make a nick end within the fragments of DNA, and methylase helpful to add the methyl groups. The process is called methylation. The methylation helpful to protect DNA from restriction enzyme attack, as well as it can helpful for epigenetic regulation by preventing the gene expression. And another enzyme called ribonuclease A or RNase A cleaves specifically single-stranded RNA at the 3' end of the pyrimidine residues. And another enzyme, ribonuclease H, degrades the RNA by hydrolytic mechanism from the DNA RNA duplex. So this is helpful for extraction of complementary DNA fragment. Alkaline phosphatase have the 2 primary roles. It can remove the phosphate from different vectors like plasmid, bacteriophage. This treatment prevents the self-ligation of the fragments of DNA, and it is used to remove 5' phosphate from the fragment of DNA prior to labeling with radioactive phosphate molecules. Thank you.